All right, class, here's the last final exam review. This is part 6. Let's go over this quickly. Ustedes tienen que practicar. You have to practice more. Nunca ganan. You never win. Ganan would be the correct word. ¿Sabes jugar al fútbol? Sí. Y conozco a todos los jugadores. Yes, and I know, I'm familiar with. So the answer was yes to this question, but then this is an additional like a compound part that you're saying. So it's a little tricky because you might have assumed it was saber because sabes is the question, usually say is the response. But in this case, conozco is, and there's that personal because you're talking about people that you know, that you're familiar with. Mi amiga necesita saber cuándo empieza el partido de fútbol. He needs to know, or she needs to know when. That's informational. Anytime you see a question word, or just about anytime you see a question word, it means it's the saber verb. Sabes jugar bien a un deporte? Sabes is the answer there because you're talking about knowing how to do something, and when you put an infinitive after the word, that's talking about how to do something. Yo conozco al campeón. I know the champion. Notice I know the champion. That's the personal Billy y yo conocemos el estadio. We know the stadium. Being familiar with, that does use, even though it's not a person. You're not talking about knowing facts about it. You're talking about having been there before. Nosotros sabemos quién es el campeón. Notice this is, we know who is the champion. That's informational. Not saying we know the person personally, but we know factually who the champion is. Yo sé dónde está el parque. Again, there's a question word. I know where the park is. I'm not talking about being familiar with the park, having been there before, although you probably were there before. I'm talking about knowing factual information where something is. Yo juego, here's conjugating jugar. Yo juego al tenis. Norberto conoce a los jugadores. There's that personal he knows the players. Lola sabe a qué hora. Notice at what time. That's factual information. Mi amigo. This is kind of a tricky one. Sabe las reglas del partido. My friend knows the rules. When you're talking about rules, that's usually factual information. Now you could actually say conoce, and it would have a slightly different connotation, meaning like he's read the rules before of the party. So depending on the context, I could see where maybe you'd use conoce, but sabe is the correct answer. Here we go with doler, me duele. Sorry, me duelen, because it's plural. Me duelen los brazos. Remember, this is like gustar. My arms hurt me. So this is plural because brazos is plural. Le duelen las rodillas, because again, rodillas is plural. They're hurting him or her. A Sara le duele la cabeza. It's duele because cabeza is singular. Her head hurts her. A Carlos y a mí nos duelen los pies. Acabo de correr un maratón. Me duelen las piernas. And again, here's the culture. You don't have to worry about the culture part. So we're done with that. Good luck with your final exam.